Hi, Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Siti Suraya binti Arifin. So for today's presentation, I will be explaining the introduction part, which is indicate the problem that we have chosen, unemployment, and also I will be going to explain the types of unemployment.
Amid the COVID-19 recession and a strict movement control order, unemployment in Malaysia has hit a 27-year high.
People are still losing their jobs because of this pandemic.
How am I possibly going to get a job again? I just got laid off at Macy's.
Unemployment can be defined as a person or an individual who is able to work but jobless. It means that the person who is trying to reach out or contact the company or any organization for the roles or any positions but do not capable to get any offer from it. Unemployment is the main key of in many countries. Since the policymakers are using the rate of unemployment to assess anything from economy to the stability of the happiness of the people. So as far as we concern, COVID-19 has affected the economy badly in every country in this world. The labor market has adversely affected, obviously, and the Malaysian Institute of Economic Research (MIER) implied that the COVID-19 may cause up to 2.4 billion job losses in Malaysia in 2020. Automatically, this will be disturb the income of households to fall by 12% this year. And for me, it is a huge number. Hence, under the leadership of the Prime Minister, the government of Malaysia is dedicated to helping its citizen who is in need, especially during this pandemic COVID-19. Thus, Pelanjana Semula Ekonomi Negara, or known as the National Economic Recovery Plan, was initiated. The government is taking an initiative and a holistic approach to Malaysia's economic recovery, and everyone must be part of this. Penjana is the program that the government have initiated to aid the country's economy, to assist Malaysians, and to deal with the economic crisis during this pandemic COVID-19. The first type of unemployment is structural unemployment. It arises when the structure of economic changes caused either by a change in the pattern or a change in the methods of production, and it is triggered by imbalance in the composition of employees and also the types of employment available. The next one is cyclical unemployment. The demand deficient economy is not static, it is moving and dynamic. So at one time, the aggregate demand will be more or much higher than before, and force the industry to produce goods and more goods and more services. Next one is seasonal unemployment. This type of unemployment happen in the agriculture sector, where much of the activities will rely on a good weather, and this idea of seasonal unemployment represents represent a condition where jobs are unemployed since the demand is declining. Cause and this is happen at a certain time. Lastly is technological unemployment, which is I am very sure that everyone is familiar with that. So the technological unemployment happen or cause when the development in technology replace the human efforts, which is with the establishing of robots and many machines and so on. Technological unemployment happens as technological and occupational advances contribute to a lost job for some employees, and it is seen as the largest phenomena called structural unemployment. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum to everyone. I am Hanis Ismail. Will be presenting on the effects of unemployment towards the country. There are 4 major effects that have been identified. So the first effect of unemployment is the financial problems, which are rising from prolonged and chronic unemployment. It is acknowledged that without money, we cannot do anything, such as the daily income to buy food, clothes, and accommodations. Unemployed people would be unable to raise money to fulfill financial commitments because of the lack of jobs. Those who refuse to make mortgage payments or pay bills, for instance, will be sacrificed their belongings, home property, and also become poor and homeless. People who are unemployed may be unable to sustain the minimum standard of living as the result of the financial crisis and the decreased total buying power of a society. Moreover, unemployment will increase the borrowing from governments. Rising unemployment would lead to a decrease in tax receipt, as less people pay income tax and spend less as well. The government will also have to invest money on joblessness and corresponding risks. Secondly, there are many obvious and well-documented social problems which are caused by unemployment. It is because of the increased spare time and stress. There will be an increase in the rates of alcoholism, drug abuse, and domestic violence. Moreover, high unemployment often results in increased marriage breakdown, separations, and discriminations in society, suicide rates, and crime rates, especially among the young. Plus, unemployment also creates a bad behavior as the desire for modern lifestyle and increased standard of living, which cause to depressions. Okay, apart from that, unemployment may be predicted to boost stress and anxiety, which contribute to lower self-esteem and generate adverse health effects, particularly when disappointment over a prolonged period of time to find jobs. On top of that, the result of unemployment can contribute to health problems by stress and tension disparities. In other words, having enormous obligations could lead to stress. Okay, thirdly, unemployment will lead to poverty. The risk of collapsing into long-term unemployment will increase when people are unemployed. The attributes of living in disadvantaged communities have been shown to build a pit in poverty when households do not have the means required to become jobs. Moreover, the individuals will face high-quality accommodations, underfunded schools, and inadequate access to public transit and facilities while living in deprived communities and services. This finding decreases the probability of a person seeking jobs again. A lack of income occurs with unemployment, and many households are left without adequate income to pay living expenses. If people are unable to pursue other means of funding, this may lead to debt by borrowing funds to meet one's needs, the use of savings, or even homelessness and starvation. Lastly, low unemployment makes recruitment and retentions more difficult. This negative effect, which may arise from high of unemployment, seems to be more noticeable than the others. For instance, the pool of applicants competing for open position decline as jobs are abundant and more workers find steady work. Simultaneously, as employers have enough resources at their hands, companies can see a rise in employee turnover. Simply put, when it comes to seeking new jobs that could best meet their wishes and interests, workers should afford to be selective. Therefore, if there are more opportunities for jobs than there are unemployed, recruiters and recruiting directors have an incredibly difficult job. Many firms now have been paying applicants to attend an interview for a position they do not even secure. In the reality, the CEO report of the 2018 Conference Board shows that failure to recruit and keep top talent would be the top challenge mostly on major corporations' minds today.
Seramai 4.5 juta rakyat Malaysia telah menerima bayaran RM50 di dalam e-dompet mereka menerusi inisiatif e-Penjana.
Kerajaan telah melancarkan inisiatif e-Penjana bermula 31 Julai yang lalu dengan tujuan merangsang perniagaan runcit dan memudayakan pembayaran secara digital. Alhamdulillah, dalam 3 hari pertama e-Penjana sehingga 2 Ogos, lebih daripada 4.5 juta rakyat telah berjaya menerima RM50 dalam e-dompet mereka.
Under the leadership of the Prime Minister, the government of Malaysia is determined to help its people that really need it, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. With this purpose, the National Economic Recovery Plan or PENJANA Semula Ekonomi Negara, which known as PENJANA, has been implemented. An integrated and holistic approach to Malaysia's economic recovery is being taken by the governments, and it is crucial for everyone to be part of that experience. E-Penjana is a program aimed at promoting consumer buying. It also aims to instill safety practices through contactless payments and to assist the public health authority through the My Sejahtera framework to promote contact tracing for COVID-19. The new program is estimated at 35 billion ringgit, aiding over 290 billion ringgit. So the overall size of the country's stimulus package, new tax incentive, financial aid to small and medium-sized enterprise (SMEs) and employment security programs are some of the interventions provided by PENJANA. A number of new and improved type benefits are offered by PENJANA, ranging from tax credits and deductions for the productions industry to the development of new companies. Next, around 50 million Malaysians benefits from e-Penjana, where RM50 e-Penjana credits are issued by the government to be used for transactions via the selected e-wallet service provider, such as GrabPay, Boost and Touch and Go e-wallet. As COVID-19 cases drop in Malaysia, this initiative aims to help cultivate the Malaysian economy and to enable the citizen to invest their cash locally. PM Muhyiddin mentioned that around 50 million Malaysians will benefit from the 750 million initiative. Subsequently, PENJANA will concentrate on 3 main thrusts toward this end, in which to empower people, propel businesses and stimulate the economy. For fast reference, these are among the measures initiated under PENJANA. Firstly, is a program of wage subsidy whereby to promote the longevity of jobs and reducing unemployment by extending the program of pay subsidies. Wage discounts are offered to employers to keep their workers with a salary under RM4,000. Secondly, social protections for gig economy workforce was introduced in order to supporting the gig economy and supplying the gig economy and informal business workers with a social safety net scheme. Thirdly, Penjana Kerjaya also were implemented. Thus, Penjana Kerjaya, the recruiting incentive scheme, is an economic recovery program under the Ministry of Human Resources that operated by the National Employment Services of SOCSO in order to encourage the work growth among employers while growing the job opportunities. In addition, in order to relieve the financial pressure on public transport users, the government has launched RM30 subsidy for public transport, which allows public transport users of all nationalities to receive an unrestricted transit pass for just RM30 a month, ensuring that they will only have to pay a mere RM1 a day. A one-off assistance of RM300 will be obtained by over 300,000 special needs persons and single mothers who apply for aid under the welfare departments.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm Luffy. Today I will explain the SWOT analysis and the strategic choice of Penjana. So, let me move to the SWOT analysis. The first element in SWOT analysis is strength. Strength is internal capacity that the organization can use to achieve the goals. the PENJANA have about 40 initiatives under this economic recovery plan. This economic recovery plan has covered all important aspects such as the empowerment of people, proper businesses, and stimulate the economy of the countries that give the benefit to the public during the pandemic of COVID-19. Other than that, PENJANA also have a lot of proactive plans in order to reduce the unemployment rate during the pandemic of COVID-19. The example of proactive plans such as the implementation of wages subsidy program, the implementation of PENJANA KPT Career Investment Program, and Human Resource Development Fund. Moving on to the weakness. Weakness in SWOT analysis means the characteristic of a business that gives disadvantage relative to others and give difficulties in order to achieve the organization objective. The first weakness is PENJANA has resolved the increase in country's fiscal deficit. It's because the implementation of PENJANA required a huge amount of funds. The fiscal deficit happened when the government expenditure is more than government revenues. Next, the implementation of PENJANA also will affect the increase of government debt. It is because the government has increased the debt ratio from the GDP. By the end of 2020, the government debt is estimated to increase about 62.6% of the GDP and exceeding the statutory limit of 60%. Next is opportunities. Opportunities in SWOT analysis mean the favorable external factor that give the competitive advantage to the organization. The collaboration with mass media will give advantage to the PENJANA and as a platform to spread the news and information regarding PENJANA. The mass media also has played an important role to enhance the awareness of public regarding PENJANA. For example, the government was collaborating with Radio Television Malaysia (RTM) in order to spread the news and information regarding PENJANA while giving the awareness to the public. And that, the collaboration with other agencies also give advantage to the government in implementing the PENJANA. During the implementation of PENJANA, the government has collaborated with Malaysia Digital Economy to enhance the business, either micro enterprise or small medium enterprise (SME). From the collaboration, the micro enterprise and SMEs can shift their business into online business. It also will help the micro enterprise and SME to boost their sales and sustain their business during the pandemic. In terms of the trade include anything that can negatively affect the program from the outside. The trade during the implementation of PENJANA is the arise of pandemic, which is COVID-19. The pandemic has affected the planning and the preparation of PENJANA. During the pandemic of COVID-19, the government administration cannot run as usual. It is because the risk of infection of COVID-19 will affect many public servants had to be given leave, and some of the government bodies also had to close due to the risk of COVID-19. The other threat of PENJANA is cyber security threat. It is because the implementation of e-PENJANA will lead to increase the cyber security threat in the country. Other than that, the implementation of government incentive under PENJANA such as Air Lestari KWSP also will increase the cyber security threat among the public. Next, we move to the strategic choice of PENJANA. Strategic choice refers to the process to decide and choose the strategic action that will be taken by the organization. The strategies that had been chosen must be able to have the objective and goals of the project. The first strategy that have been adopted by the government is making a collaboration with the mass media. The collaboration will help the government in enhancing the awareness of public regarding PENJANA. All the information, message and data regarding Penjana can be channeled through the mass media. The mass media also enable the public to express their opinion and feedback in order to improvise the implementation of Penjana. Next, the other strategy is the collaboration with the other government agencies and bank institutions. From the collaboration, it will help the government to plan more initiatives to help the public during the pandemic of COVID-19 while enhance the economy of the country. For example, the government has collaborated with Maybank to implement the e-Dagang campaign and also collaborated with Perkeso in order to implement the wage subsidy initiative. The other strategy is the introduction of acronym known as PENJANA to reflect the National Economic Recovery Plan. The use of acronym words is to ensure the public easy to remember and read the name of this economic recovery plan. The acronym of PENJANA have been effectively used as branding that are focusing to our economic recovery and the incentive to reduce unemployment during the pandemic of COVID-19. Lastly, the other strategy is the adoption of digitalization. Nowadays, digitalization is very important to the government administration, especially during the pandemic. The adoption of digitalization is the proactive step in order to prevent the risk of infection among the citizens. So, the adoption of digitalization is very important to ensure the effectiveness and efficiency of this economic recovery plan. For example, the online application for IELTS study will enhance the efficiency and reduce red tape during the application process.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Amirul. I will present about how Penjana affects Malaysian unemployment problem. When the COVID-19 pandemic happens, the National Economic Recovery Plan or Penjana focuses on workers and aims to minimize unemployment. In addition, to many industries, many workers are discouraged from continuing to work since they will lose their jobs. Under this initiative, the government is introducing another package of economic stimulus that may minimize the number of unemployed workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. I will explain 4 effects of Penjana to overcome unemployment issue. Firstly, the wage subsidy program implemented under the Prihatin Economic Stimulus Package was established on 1st April and end on 30 September 2020 with the establishment of Penjana to encourage employee retention and minimize layoff by employers. Wage subsidy program is financial assistance program which assists employers, business, financial and paid to all local employees earning 4,000 ringgit and less per month by extended for another 3 months with a subsidy of 600 ringgit per employee for all eligible employers. Wage subsidy program subsidy was been given for 3 months during the establishment of Prihatin Economic Stimulus Package on the 27th of March 2020 under the Penjana National Economic Recovery Plan announced on the 5th of June 2020. Wage subsidy program was extended for an additional 3 months, bringing the total number of months to 6. This is known as Wage Subsidy Program 2.0. Wage subsidy program is improved to require employers receiving the subsidy to also introduce shortened work week and reduce pay with a 30% reduced overall allowable pay. The objective of this program is to support the economic effect of the COVID-19 crisis on affected industries as well as to prevent employees from losing their jobs and sources of income. Secondly, through the Penjana, government recruitment incentive were also implemented to combat the high unemployment rate among fresh graduates. The government will provide the company that offers recruitment for school leavers and new graduates with an incentive of 600 ringgit a month up to 6 months. The government will provide incentive for the company to employ 800 ringgit and 1000 ringgit postgraduates every month for up to 6 months. So it can help to reduce unemployment employed workers in our country. Besides, government also provide training allowance for the employee per individual under employment insurance system. The employment insurance system was established in January 2018 by Perkeso. Employment insurance system as financial scheme that aim to helping the employees who lost their jobs until they find the new employment. The contributions are being collected in a fund in order to provide financial assistance to retrenched employees. Thirdly, with various financial incentives to help employees and unemployed workers, Penjana Kerjaya is part of the Penjana program. Penjana Kerjaya focuses on meeting the needs of employers seeking eligible candidates while helping job seekers to secure employment. Under Penjana Kerjaya, newly employed workers who need additional skills in their new employment may be sent for training. The Penjana Kerjaya program will be covered by the government, able to inject training fees up to a limit of 4,000 ringgit. The government will include a one-to-one matching fund of 250 million to the corporate fund location and train workers and job seekers to increase youth employability. And lastly, under Penjana, the government support a new normal working from home during a pandemic. Government shall provide support both to employers and employees. For the employers who implement flexible work arrangement, incentive or undertake to enhance their existing flexible work arrangement by providing additional tax deduction, tax cash saving and social coverage for employers. Flexible work arrangement has been introduced to encourage work from home arrangement. It helps business ensure that employees have sufficient access to technology to properly embrace the new standard of working from home. Under Penjana, a tax exemption of up to 5,000 ringgit is granted to individuals receiving a notebook, mobile phone and tablet from their employers under the flexible work arrangement. The government will also provide 25 million ringgit to Malaysian Digital Economic Corporation for the Global Online Workforce Program, which will train Malaysians to earn income from serving international clients while working in online from home. This can help the business to continue to operate during the pandemic and prevent the company from taking alternative layoff to its employees during the pandemic, because it can cause the unemployment rate to rise. In conclusion, the government is committed to tackling unemployment problem that is happening in our country. Government is facing economic challenge during the period because there are many companies, whether private or public, that need to stop operating during a pandemic crisis. Government also provide an incentive in aim at helping many firms to stabilize the company in financial.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Maizatul Hasni binti Muhammad Syamsuddin. In this video, I'll be presenting the recommendation in enhancing the program to be more effective and the conclusion. Now we will move to the recommendation in enhancing the program to be more effective. While Penjana is perceived as a transient recuperation plan that will terminate by year-end, a portion of the activities actually appear to be a lot of an augmentation of the insurance center topic from past stimulus packages. Upgrading the Penjana program to be more successful is by encouraging the public authority to guarantee fitting long-haul thought in the execution of Penjana to lead the exit of the economy from the emergency mode. Initially, government should broaden the wage subsidy program with 5 billion for an additional 3 months to advance representative maintenance and decrease cutbacks. Our Prime Minister, which is Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, in reporting Penjana said the wage subsidy was generally welcome when it was presented in the Prihatin Rakyat Economic Stimulus Package in March and April. He likewise added that the motivation will be accommodated as long as half year. Essentially, the low take-up rate raises worries over the proficiency of endorsement and dispensing measures. This has made a worry on joblessness and anticipates an improvement in the regulatory cycles so that focus on beneficiaries have better admittance to the wage subsidies. Furthermore, another suggestion is to give various financial assistance measure to organizations to employ jobless laborers. This is particularly for the adolescent where it is positive development as the peril of long-haul joblessness will bring about misfortune of aptitude and profitability. In this pandemic, there are many people who are worried about the risk of losing jobs and their sources of income after many sectors and economic activities were affected by the movement control order. This will set aside effort to recuperate, and there are individuals who need assistance all through the financial recuperation period. Henceforth, it is crucial for the public authority to give different monetary help measures to manage the resident to exit from the emergency mode all the more successfully. Finally, in order to increase the performance of the PENJANA program, it is proposed that the allocation to be made in order to stimulate the digital adaptation in the economy. PENJANA focuses on stimulating development of the digital company by carefully tailored steps. During this pandemic, the digital economy played an increasingly important role, and this difficult time called for swift action to implement the steps announced. The allocation within PENJANA that will stimulate the digital economy will increase trust to leap from the restart process of the conditional movement control order through the recovery pace or the recovery movement control order. Conclusively, the key initiatives represented in PENJANA are balanced and its coverage of the different target groups and business areas. And now we will move to the last one, which is the conclusion. The National Economic Recovery Plan, which is PENJANA, is a timely initiative by the public authority to re-establish the nation's economy, thus assisting people to manage the economic crisis during COVID-19 pandemic. The government's 35 billion short-term PENJANA reported that it has been generally welcomed by financial experts who state it is all around covered to help launch the recuperation phase of the nation's economy in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. This program will stretch out additional alleviation to the hard-hit areas while prodding recuperation with requests boosting motivating forces, particularly for the housing and automotive industries. Additionally, government likewise has presented PENJANA Kerjaya with different financial incentive forces given to businesses on recruiting applicants. For instance, school leavers and new alumni, jobless people and disabled persons. It is essential for the PENJANA plan where it centers around coordinating the necessities of the businesses who are looking for qualified possibility to recruit while assisting job seekers with making sure about work. This arrangement will assist with addressing the unemployment crisis in this pandemic. That's all from me. Thank you.